welcome back to Learn Economy. In this video, we are going to see saving and investment. Incomes are generated by production and the economic system is said to be in equilibrium when all the incomes earned are returned to income flow through spending, right? Keynes income expenditure analysis focuses on the relationship between aggregate expenditure as well as aggregate income. So, in order to understand this, we have to take into consideration a two-sector model. Here, equilibrium occurs when income received equals the aggregate desired expenditure. That means Y is equal to C plus I, where C is your consumption, I is your investment, and Y is your income. An alternative way of describing how national income is determined is to focus on saving and investment. Here we have to consider a simple situation in which all incomes in the economy are disposable income. Okay, so this would happen when we assume that taxes are zero and all of the firm's profit are paid out as dividends. In this two-sector economy, there is no government, there is no foreign trade, and we assume that there are no government savings, and there are no flow of funds from abroad, and there are no flow of funds to abroad. Okay, this simple model is affected by the existence of two complicating factors, saving as well as investment. Saving is a part of income which is not consumed and not passed on to the income flow. Investment is a process of capital formation plus addition to stocks, and therefore it is considered to be an addition to your income flow. The main reason for apparent paradox is due to apparent paradox in the above statements is that in both the terms, that means in terms of saving as well as in terms of investment, are defined differently. If you consider the case of Keynesian models and all, you can see that Keynes has stated that saving was always equal to investment, and this was referred to actual realized saving and actual realized investment. The income obtained from production of national output is distributed to various factors of production employed in the production process, and national income and national output are always considered to be equal. They are merely the same thing looked at in different point of views. The output produced will be either for current use or will be added to country's stock of investment goods. The income earned will either be used for consumption purposes or it would be saved. In the case of aggregate output or aggregate income, these are always considered to be equal, and saving is identical consumption is identical in both the sides or both the places. The rest of the equation this would look like Y is equal to C plus I and Q is equal to G and P, which is equal to C plus S. So from this equation, we can see that S is equal to I, that is saving is equal to investment. So in Keynesian two-sector model, demand-determined model, in the Keynesian two-sector demand-determined model, individuals can either spend their income either today or they can save it. So it's their choice. So if they're saving it, that means that they can use it for their consumption in the future days. Or they can pass it over to their children. That means that bequest. They can leave it as bequest to their children. By definition, you can see that consumption plus saving is equal to your income with no government purchases, no net exports. Aggregate expenditure would composed of consumer goods and investment goods. Y is equal to C plus I, or consumption plus investment. Y is equal to your income, C is your consumption, and I is equal to investment. And we also know that we are equating this consumption plus saving equal to consumption plus investment. Here, just cancel out consumption from both the sides. From this equation, we can see the consumption is equal to, saving is equal to your investment. The simplest way to understand this identity is think of firms as producing a certain amount of goods, the value of which is equal to the income received by all the firms in the economy. That particular portion of your national income which is not spent upon your consumption goods is saved. On the output side, firms sell their goods, they produce or they put into their inventory for future sale. Some of the inventories the firms hold this not as a planned inventories because business require inventories to service. Some of it is unplanned, That means that business may be surprised by a brief recession that spoils their sales forecast. Both intended or unintended inventory, that means that planned as well as unplanned inventory would build up to make investment, total investment. The goods that are not demanded by consumers, these are demanded by business firms, or these are invested. So we can see that inventory accumulation consists of goods that are produced not for consumption, but presumably it is for future consumption, not for today's consumption, but for future consumption. Here we can see that since firms will reduce output in equilibrium, the amount companies invest in the amount they wish to invest given the current market conditions. The equilibrium condition theory states that investment is equal to desired investment. So let's switch over to saving side. The Keynesian short-term consumption function tells that people will wish to consume at each level of income, right? But since saving is a residue, we have to understand that the consumption function can easily be transformed into saving function given the level of saving at each level of income. Saving is just income minus consumption, right? And so here you can see that you'll be seeing a figure here, the slope, which is the amount by which the saving increases as income increases. Here we can see that MPS is equal to 1 minus MPC. Okay. Saving must be equal to investment, and in equilibrium, investment must be equal to desired investment. Saving equals investment. That's the identity that you have. The desired investment function is a horizontal line. This is because in Keynesian model, all investment is considered to be autonomous, and this is assumed to be independent of your level of income, and your national income equilibrium occurs at point E, where desired saving intersects your desired investment line. Okay. So in the words of Samuelson, we can see that investment calls and tune and consumption dances to the music. Investment determines the output, while saving responds precisely to income changes. Output rises or falls until planned saving has adjusted to level of planned investment. Therefore, we observe that the actual saving is always equal to investment. But planned saving is equal to planned investment only when national income is equilibrium. When we talk of saving and investment being equal, we are referring to observed behavior of an economy, a study of what has actually happened or what has realized. But Keynesian analysis of income determination resolves around the intended nature of such variables as saving and investment. These plans to save and invest lead to changes in income flow with different equilibrium levels being reached. Decision to save and invest is constantly made by different groups of people at different times and for different reasons. It is only then we have to understand that the equilibrium has been attained when there is no tendency for level of income and employment to alter. This process is facilitated by multiplied change in income, which operates both inward and upward or downward direction, we can see. So, when any discrepancy happens between plan to save and invest occurs, we have to understand that as income continues to change, there would be changes in investment as well. Just see a numerical example. The table gives you a consumption function from which the saving plans can be obtained. You just assume that planned investment is autonomous and households would be facing the same. Here in equilibrium, income can be calculated. When the income is 500, consumption is 400, and the remainder 100 will be saved at the level of income. Planned investment is 100, thereby bringing the total planned expenditure equal to the level of output. With planned saving and investment being equal, the economy is a state of equilibrium. However, at a higher level of income, planned saving exceeds planned level of investment, resulting in planned expenditure falling below planned income. As the rate of production exceeds the rates of sales by 20, the level of stock would rise, thereby resulting in a rise in planned investment, unplanned investment. Any stock changes, these are regarded as investment. At this particular point, realized investment, which is made up of planned as well as unplanned investment, will be equal to realized savings. So, but the discrepancy between intentions of savers and investors, this would result in the level of income falling back until it reaches the equilibrium level of 500. An exactly opposite process will work itself if actual income falls below its equilibrium value. If income were 400, consumption schedule will indicate 320, and that would be consumed and 80 would be saved. With unplanned investment exceeding planned saving, planned investment would exceed planned income. This will result in a fall in the value of stocks. The fall in stocks, this can be regarded as an unplanned disinvestment, giving a realized investment figure. So as a result, we can see that when there is a change in income, this would affect your income, savings, investment. But always remember the identity S equal to I. That means that your saving equal to your investment. So we have to understand that. With that, we have to end here. Please like, share and subscribe this channel for more videos, and please be a part of my Telegram group and Telegram channel to discuss your doubts. There have been a lot of members who are discussing their doubts, who are able to get their doubts clarified as a result of their discussions in the group. So you can be a part of that. I'll be providing the link of both my Telegram channel and Telegram group in the description box. That's all. Thank you.